bitch wanna kick it, Jackie Chan.
Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett.
Yo, bitch wanna kick it, Jackie Chan.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome to what is the official final episode of the Chicago Cougars series. I'm going to say it for one final time. Welcome back to the Chicago Cougars. Man, it's going to be a sad day not having to say that anymore. It is what it is. The series has been fantastic. I have been utterly surprised, taken aback about how amazing this series has been. Not only with the gameplay has been fine. The gameplay is secondary. Just the amount of support that you guys have showed on this entire series from episode 1 to now episode 86. By far my longest running series. This spanned the entire life cycle of Madden 22, and it even bled a few months into the Madden 23 life cycle. That's how important and impactful this series was to you guys, and we finished it off right. We won a Super Bowl in the last episode to finish everything up and wrap it up nice in a bow, our entire series. So this episode basically is going to be going around memory lane, looking back at some career stats, taking a look at some of the players that we formerly had, some of the players that we may have wanted in a past draft that I just couldn't get, and taking a look at stats and career stuff like that, and taking a look back at the save as a whole. So that's what's going to be encompassed in this video. And then at the very end of the video, I've got a little bit of a montage of different clips and stuff put together with the help of Mega. You may know him as Megalodon. He comments on a lot of videos, very loyal subscriber, one of my favorite people. He helps me. I mentioned him in my 1,000 subscriber video. He helps me with a lot of stuff, him and a few other people. So he's a real awesome person, and he helped make this. He basically made the montage. So you'll see that at the very end of the video. And with all that being said, let's go down memory lane and take a look back at what was the Chicago Cougars. So we start right away where we left off last episode. It's the 2025 offseason heading into the 2026 regular season. We will not go any further. I will not advance. I will not do anything like that because we have season recap and all that stuff, so we don't have to go any further than this. But as you can see, we have negative $9.7 million in cap space. So if we were to move on another season, we would have to free up some money somehow. I don't know how we would do it. And I mentioned in the last episode possibly doing like a 10-year in the future simulation video to see kind of how the careers of Trent Favors and Patrick Surtain and Trey Lance and Tajay Chamberlain, all these guys that we've come to know and love as a Cougar member, see how their careers pan out in the end. How many more Super Bowls do they win? Do they win any more Super Bowls? Do they win MVPs? Do they win, like how do their stats pan out? So I may do that. It might not be the 3 o'clock video if I do it. It may just be like a 9 a.m. or a noon video if I do end up doing it, but I haven't fully decided if I want to yet or not. So first off, I feel like we should take a look at the season recap. Kind of take a look back the past 4 or 5 years of this save and see kind of what we've had happen. So let's go back to 2022, the first year of the save. We played the Dallas Cowboys, and we won the Super Bowl with Davis Mills as our starting quarterback. 27-17, Christian McCaffrey was the MVP of the league that year. He is also the MVP, or the Offensive Player of the Year. Chase Young was the Defensive Player of the Year for us. And we also had Romeo Goddard, who is a future Cougar, won the Defensive Rookie of the Year. You can see why I wanted to get him on the team. 2023, we go back-to-back. We play the Carolina Panthers. And if I remember correctly, this Panthers Super Bowl went down to the wire. Either overtime or very last possession of the fourth quarter. I can't remember exactly. I know it was a crazy one. Trey Lance was the Super Bowl MVP. We had Joe Burrow winning the MVP of the league. He also won Offensive Player of the Year. A couple guys won Defensive Player of the Years that we don't really care about. Von Miller, I guess. And then we get to 2024, we go for a three-peat. This time we play the Seattle Seahawks, which I completely forgot we played the Seattle Seahawks, but whatever. We played the Seattle Seahawks, and Justin Reed was the Super Bowl MVP of that one. I'm pretty sure he had maybe 1 or 2 interceptions in that game. Trey Lance won his first MVP. Sean McVay was the coach of the year for us. Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt was Defensive Player of the Year. And we beat the Seahawks 31-17. And then this past season, we get a rematch from Season 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, 42-31. We beat them. Trey Lance wins the Super Bowl MVP, his second Super Bowl MVP, I think, right? Yeah, he won in the Carolina year. So his second, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP. Sean McVay wins Coach of the Year. Trey Lance wins Offensive Player of the Year. Trent Favors wins Defensive Player of the Year. So we got the 4 main things, basically, all Chicago Cougar players. That is pretty awesome. So we only went 4 seasons in this save, 5 seasons if you count the year that we had to simulate to get to this, which is this year, 2021, Chiefs and Rams. So we had to simulate that first season to get the relocation started. So we went 5 seasons technically, but 4 as the Cougars. So all that has been taken care of, taking a look back. But now I want to take a look at some of the stats, because I don't think we ever looked at the stats officially for this season. 5,900 yards, 63 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. What a phenomenal season. Both records, by the way. Trey Lance has the yards record and the touchdown record. 18 interceptions. I'm very, very proud of how Trey Lance recovered in terms of his interceptions, because I like to throw interceptions. I really like to throw interceptions. So in his 3 seasons as a Chicago Cougar quarterback, he had 3,900 yards, 31 touchdowns to 30 picks. I cut that down. We got 52 touchdowns, 26 interceptions, and 5,000 yards. And then obviously we had our amazing record-setting season in this past season. So Trey Lance's career, I'd say, is pretty much amazing. Just like one of the best players I've ever had. Then we get to the rushing game. Jonathan Taylor was such a game changer getting him in the backfield. 1,700 yards, 22 touchdowns. Scored a touchdown, at least one, in every single game this season. Even Trey Lance on the ground had 578 yards and 7 touchdowns. Austin Eckler got into the running game a little bit as well, but Jonathan Taylor just had such a fantastic career and such a fantastic season here. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 1,400 in his first year in Chicago. Look at the difference. He went from averaging almost less than 600 yards in his 3 seasons here before getting to Chicago, where he averaged almost 1,500 yards. What an uptick. What an absolute uptick in yards and in touchdowns and just carries in general. We absolutely abused Jonathan Taylor in these 2 seasons. Receiving, I mean, just take a minute to bow down to the greatness that was Terry McLaurin. Absolutely phenomenal. 72 catches, 1,800 yards, and 31 touchdowns, averaging 26 yards per catch. Unbelievable. I mean, he just was the best. Nobody could guard him. You cannot guard Terry McLaurin. And we proved that time in and time again. So Jamar Chase also got over 1,000 yards in very, very good season. 77 catches, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns for him. Kyle Pitts, what an X factor he was when we got to trade for him with the wheel. 65 catches, 1,128 yards, and 9 touchdowns for him on the season. Matt Peterson's numbers kind of declined because we had the addition of Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase, and Terry McLaurin obviously really, really big, but Matt Peterson was a stud. Don't forget that. I mean, big play Tajay was an absolute monster. So we really had, like, it was just a who's who of names in terms of just phenomenal receivers and phenomenal weapons. We got Terry McLaurin in the Deshaun Watson trade, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. We got Terry McLaurin and Chase Young and a first-round pick, I think, for Deshaun Watson. That was a phenomenal trade because his first season didn't really do much. But then year 3, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, and 4, all were over 1,000 yards, phenomenal seasons. I mean, just the greatest wide receiver I've ever thrown to. basically. And then Jamar Chase, we got Jamar Chase pretty quickly into the series. Yeah, he was after year number 1 as well. And he kind of started out slow, gonna gradually build up. Then he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Phenomenal player for us. And then Kyle Pitts was on was on Atlanta forever. And just look at these numbers. He wasn't getting used. I mean, 2023, he got 86 catches and 800 yards, 11 touchdowns. That's his best season. But then he only had like, I don't even know, he maybe had like less than 10 catches before we traded for him. It was wild, the lack of usage Atlanta was giving him, and then we get him in Chicago and we absolutely dominate. So phenomenal numbers for all of these guys. Blocking, the most sacks given up was Trent Brown with 8, which is understandable because a lot of those weren't even on our team. We had Penei Sewell on our team, but he was hurt, and then we had to trade him. So the wheel made us trade. We had to trade Trent Brown, or we had to trade for Trent Brown. So a lot of this wasn't even on our team. Jedrick Will, we didn't get sacked a whole lot with Trey Lance, a few times. Jedrick Willis was a good player for us. Elijah Vera Tucker was solid. John Hackett was a solid player for us. I mean, John Hackett was a stud, man. He was one of our original draft picks. Actually, no, he wasn't. He wasn't one of our original. I thought I could have sworn he was one of our original draft picks. I know we took somebody on the offensive line. I know we took James Henley. We took somebody on the offensive line. Was it Enriquez that I'm thinking of? I can't remember exactly who I'm thinking of, but I know we took somebody on the offensive line that was a really good player for us. Defensively, this is where it gets absolutely wild because these numbers for some of these guys are just absolutely insane. Russ Telfer actually led us this season with tackles, 78. Buda Baker was a great addition. We had to get him in a trade via the wheel. Trent Favors, just what do you want me to say about Trent Favors? Just an absolute monster, a freak of nature, once in a generation type player, absolute first ballot Hall of Famer. Only 4 years into his career, 23 sacks this season, set the all-time record. That not the Madden record because the Madden record's 29. T.J. Watt set that, but the official real-life record is broken and now held by Trent Favors. Chase Young, Chase Young had a quiet season, but he had 13.5 sacks. All the focus was on Trent Favors, so then that allowed Chase Young to get the numbers that he has. Micah Parsons, what an addition he was to the team. He was a monster coming off the edge. Romeo Goddard, an addition in the middle. What an absolute side. Every single position on this team, whether it be offense or defense, is elite. Like, I wouldn't change a thing on any of these positions. Maybe add a couple backups, but this team is perfect. This team has been built to perfection. And I built it, so. Kalen Cousins was really good. Russ Telfer was really good as kind of a secondary guy. Interception leader. What else are you going to say? Patrick Surtain. If Terry McLaurin wasn't the greatest player in Chicago Cougar history, you can definitely make an argument that this man right here is. Look at these numbers he was putting up as a Chicago Cougar. We got him after the first season. 11 interceptions in his first season, 7 in year 2. And then he broke the record in year 3 last season, and then he goes and ties the old record this season. So just in these 2 seasons alone, he goes for 29 interceptions. Just a mind-boggling number of interceptions. Some people don't even get that in an entire career, and he got that in 2 seasons. So most players don't get that in an entire career. What a phenomenal player he is. So I'd say Terry McLaurin or Patrick Surtain, 1-2. It's 1A, 1B, basically, for greatest player in Chicago Cougar history. You can't deny the numbers right there. Those are phenomenal numbers for Patrick Surtain, and he is a phenomenal player. Now, the most... did we get any pick sixes or safeties or anything? We didn't get any safeties this year. We didn't block any kicks. We came close. You remember that Trayvon Diggs block kick that we almost had. No touchdown. Oh, we had a couple touchdowns. AJ Terrell had a pick 6, and Pat Surtain had a pick 6 this season. I think I remember both of those. So, just phenomenal numbers. Rodrigo Blankenship, once we got rid of Kaimi Fairbairn. Once we got rid of Kaimi Fairbairn, the kicking just was flawless. 8 for 8 this season. His longest was 52 yards. Only missed 2 extra points, and that's just because I suck and I missed the accuracy a bunch. But just a phenomenal career for Rodrigo Blankenship. Couldn't have asked for a better kicker. He was a stud. I mean, look at this. 10 for 10 and then 8 for 8 in his 2 seasons here in Chicago. 53-yarder and a 52-yarder. Just the extra point numbers are a little bit skewed because I missed the accuracy a couple times, so those are on me. But just a phenomenal start or career for him. And then Cameron Johnson, obviously he has no punting numbers because we don't punt the football on this channel. Kick return yards, what are you going to say? Big play Tajay, man. Big play Tajay is an absolute animal. 1 kick return touchdown. Punt return numbers not as great because it's so hard to punt return in this game. I do want to take a look at NFL records. We'll take a look at Legacy Leaderboard in a second. I do want to take a look at career stats and NFL records one final time. So in his career, so far, we've gone 5 seasons of Trey Lance's career. Because remember, he was a rookie when this game came out. So we've gone 5 seasons. And I just want to bring up something real quick. Getting Gambler as an X Factor was unbelievably crucial. Because you guys know I love to throw interceptions to the CPU. So getting Gambler and having that ability to not throw interceptions no matter how bad the pass is to AI defenders was just an absolute game changer. Especially when we pair it with Escape Artist, when he was able to get Escape Artist. I mean, it was night and day difference. So in his career, he throws for 18,500 yards, 181 touchdowns to 83 interceptions. Now, those 83 interceptions are a lot higher than they probably should be because of, I throw a lot of interceptions. So I wish those numbers were down probably like 20 or 30, but hey, it is what it is. 181 touchdowns is just phenomenal in 5 seasons. 18,000 yards is crazy. Mark Burton did get in, but he didn't look that great. He had 342 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in his 2-year career. Just not amazing. Not that great. He kind of just disappointed me a little bit. And then we get to the rushing stats. Now, a lot of these numbers are from his real-life career, and that's the same for Austin Eckler. But 5,700 yards and 77 touchdowns in the career of Jonathan Taylor so far. He is certainly on his way to a Hall of Fame career. Or a Hall of Fame induction. Austin Eckler did good. He was just kind of like a throw-in piece. Trey Lance had 1,600 yards and 31 touchdowns in his career on the ground. So very good numbers for them. And then we get to the phenomenal numbers here. Look at this. 8,000 yards, 80 touchdowns for Terry McLaurin. Just an absolutely insane career so far, and he's still got more time to go, so those numbers are going to go even higher if we continue to simulate. And then you got 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns for Jamar Chase on 305 catches. That spans his entire career because he was also a rookie when we started the series. Kyle Pitts, also a rookie, 4,000 yards, 34 touchdowns. A lot of that was in Atlanta. Tajay Chamberlain, 2,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. Matt Peterson got over 1,000 yards and 22. 1,000 yards and 22 touchdowns in 3 seasons is unbelievable. Just a crazy number, especially because we didn't really use him that much in his career. Like, we used him a lot, but he just kind of kept getting knocked down the totem pole. Blocking in their careers, most sacks given up. Jedrick Willis, 37. Trent Brown, 30. John Hackett, 17. Very good numbers for the boys on the offensive line. And then defensively, I mean, Budda Baker's numbers just blow everybody out of the water because he's been in the league longer than everybody else on our team. But 966 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and 16 career interceptions. Then we go to A.J. Terrell, who had 1 sack in his career. I think that came off a corner blitz or something. 13 career interceptions. Cam Curl was a phenomenal inside middle linebacker, phenomenal sub linebacker for us. I wasn't sure if he was going to become a great player, but when we put him in that sub linebacker position, he just exceeded all expectations. He was a phenomenal player. Chase Young never got a pick in his career. Same with Micah Parsons. But Chase Young, 65 career sacks so far. Just an absolutely amazing season and an amazing career. Micah Parsons, 261 sacks. Nope, tackles, not sacks. 261 tackles, 30 sacks. Romeo Goddard at 34 and 252 career tackles. And then we get to Patrick Surtain. 197 tackles, no sacks in his career. Never brought him off a corner blitz or anything. But 48 career interceptions is just unbelievable. That's just like, I don't know if I can even comprehend it, how many interceptions that is. That's phenomenal. Trent Favors actually tied Chase Young for the most sacks with 65 in his career. It's going to be a good battle to see who comes out as the best pass rusher out of the history of the Cougars. Is it going to be Chase Young or is it going to be Trent Favors? I don't really know. Devon Hamilton was a solid player for us for a few seasons. Russ Telfer, Jeff Sewell was a great player, 13 career interceptions. He was a phenomenal one for us. 123 tackles. Trayvon Diggs didn't get as many interceptions as I would have anticipated, but he was a solid player. Really, really good. Darrell Royals, amazing player, amazing draft pick. Christian Barmore was a good trade piece. Kalen Cousins, another amazing draft pick, 11 career sacks. And then Alex Ali, who was a rookie this year, was a phenomenal player. 2 career interceptions, 51 tackles. He's going to be an absolute monster if we continue to simulate. Sean Wade never really developed anything. And then Tevin Lambert didn't really get to do much. But when he was on the field, he played really, really well. Kicking-wise, oh wait, I want to go to defensively, and then I want to go to the career like touchdowns and stuff. So who has the most career touchdowns? Patrick Surtain has 5 career touchdowns. I'm assuming all of them are pick sixes. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm assuming that that's the case. 3 for Cam Curl, 2 for AJ Terrell, 1 for Budda Baker, Chase Young, Jeff Sewell, and Kalen Cousins. Safeties, we have 1 with Micah Parsons, 1 with Christian Barmore. Block kicks, Parsons, Chase Young, Goddard, and Trayvon Diggs all have 1. A lot of forced fumbles in the career of Chase Young. We saw that come into play a lot. Budda Baker's got a lot of forced fumbles as well. And then we get fumble recoveries, 10 for Chase Young, 4 for Budda Baker. Just absolutely phenomenal numbers for everybody involved. Just crazy numbers, man. 40 deflected passes for AJ Terrell is absolutely insane. Just unbelievably insane numbers for these guys. It's hard to even comprehend the numbers that some of these guys were putting up, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Actually, the most games played for a Chicago Cougar player, Budda Baker's played the most games, but Cam Curl, 100 games, Chase Young, 98, AJ Terrell's 95, Surtain has played 84 games, Micah Parsons, 82, Barmore, 77. Okay, so 67 games for Romeo Goddard, 65 for Darrell Royals, one of our only original draft picks. Kicking-wise, Rodrigo Blankenship, 96 of 107, but that's a lot of his real-life career mixed in there because you saw that in the regular season stats, he had missed one for us. So that's a lot of his regular season career numbers. Here's his most of his regular season career extra point made and missed. Kick returning numbers for the career of Tajay Chamberlain. He has 3 career kick return touchdowns, 4,600 yards, just absolutely crazy. No punt return anything for these guys. They made it really hard to do punt returns in Madden 22. And then we go to the career legacy leaderboard. We have ourselves. Sean McVay goes into number 2 all time behind only Andy Reid, who has 4 AFC titles, only 2 Super Bowls. 5 championships for Sean McVay, 3 titles for him. Obviously, we didn't have Sean McVay when we won the first Super Bowl. I don't know who our coach was. It Culley? It was Culley, right? Yeah, it was David Culley was our coach the first season. He won the Super Bowl with us. And then, as you can see, my numbers right there, 17,800 is my legacy score. And we had 4 Super Bowls, 4 FC championships, no yearly awards because the owner doesn't win awards. But that is what our legacy leaderboard number is looking like. So Tom Brady, in the career of the NFL, has a 37,500 legacy leaderboard. Never won another Super Bowl. Has the 7 Super Bowls. Okay. Very good. Then Khalil Mack, still playing actually, in Arizona, is second on the list. Aaron Donald's in Seattle. He's playing, and he's third. Zeke still on the Cowboys. Where is the first Cougar player? There's J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was on our team, won 2 Super Bowls with us. Then he retired. So that's the first technical Cougar player. Then we get to Aaron Rodgers, Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Rodgers, Chandler Jones, then us, Larry Fitzgerald, Cam Jordan, DeAndre Hopkins, McCaffrey. Where's the first real Cougar player? There he is. Trent Favors with an active score of 14,000, and that's only going to go higher. He's such a stud. 7 yearly awards in his career. Absolute monster. Absolute animal. Trey Lance, 13,000 for him. There's Chase Young's numbers. The Trey Lance finishes top 5. Well, not finishes, but he's in the top 5 for quarterbacks all time, ahead of Patrick Mahomes. So that's cool. Say what you want about that. Running backs, we have Jonathan Taylor somewhere. Here he is. He's down here, 3,000. He's going to struggle to get up here with the big boys. He's going to have a long career if he wants to do that. Then we get to the... Wait, is that Mark Burton? Oh, not the right Mark Burton. I thought that was our quarterback for some reason. Wide receiver, Terry McLaurin is top 10, but not in the top 5, unfortunately. Best receiver in the league. Absolutely no doubt about that. There's Jamar Chase and Tajay Chamberlain right back-to-back. Tight ends, we should see Kyle Pitts here somewhere. Here he is. 4,700 is his legacy score. Left tackles, do we have a Cougar player here? Oh, we have Mekhi Becton, who was a Cougar player for basically the entire save until like the final season, until we traded. And there's Jedrick Willis as well. And Enriquez. He's up there because he has Super Bowls, not really anything else. A guard, Elijah Vera Tucker's in the top 5. He's 5th. So that's pretty cool for him. Centers, we should have a center in here somewhere, right? We have, oh, there's Henley. Henley's there in the top of the centers. Right guard, we should have somebody. Who is it? Who's our right guard that we've had for a while? There's John Hackett, but we had another center. Oh, we had Cesar Ruiz. That's right. We had Cesar Ruiz, who was our right guard for a long time, and then we traded him away. Then the right tackle spot, there's Trent Brown, but our real right tackle is, who is it? Our real right tackle for most of the save was Penei Sewell. Here he is, Penei Sewell, and he's in Green Bay now with a score of 1,000. So Penei Sewell was a stud for us. Absolute stud. Trent Brown's a beast. Cam Jordan leads the left ends, but Trent Favors is close behind him. He's going to pass him. He's Trent Favors, within another season or two, is going to pass DeMarcus Lawrence and Cam Jordan. Defensive tackles, I forgot to change J.J. Watt back to an end when he retired, so he finishes his career as a D tackle. But there's Romeo Goddard, absolute beast. Devon Hamilton's up here only because of the Super Bowls. Then we get to right ends, and I would expect, there he is, Chase Young to be right up there with the top with the big boys, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, studs, absolutely studs. Outside linebackers, I'm surprised TJ Watt's career or his legacy score is not higher, but he doesn't have any Super Bowls or AFC championships to go along with it, so that's probably why it's so low. Kalen Cousins makes the list, but nobody's going to pass Khalil Mack. He's an absolute beast. Middle linebackers, we didn't really have like a stud middle linebacker, like that guy that you look towards. We had Darrell Royals, but he wasn't that guy. We also had Russ Telfer, but we didn't have that like synonymous middle linebacker. Right outside linebacker, there's Micah Parsons, but he did most of his work in Dallas before he got to us. So we had some pretty big numbers in here. And then we get to the corners. Patrick Surtain, if he just plays a little bit longer, I mean, look at it. He's only been in the league since this series started. So 5 years, and he's already got 10,000 legacy scored. So, I mean, he just needs to play a little bit longer, and he's going to certainly pass Pat Pete for best corner of all time. Then we get to the free safeties. We got Justin Reed, who was our safety for the longest time. And then we shipped him off to Arizona for Budda Baker. And Cam Curl ends up putting his name up in the top half as well. And then we get to the strong safeties. There's Budda Baker. Also, we have... I didn't mean to do that. Also, we have... we can't forget about Marcus May, who was our strong safety for a long time, too. So, can't forget about those guys. Then we get to the kickers, and we have Roderick Blankenship's right there in the top 5. Kaimi Fairbairn is there too. He won 2 Super Bowls with us in the beginning of the save, so good for him. Punter, we don't care about that, but Cameron Johnson gets to be up here because he's won 4 Super Bowls. He's been our punter the entire year, or the entire save. So that is everything in Legacy Leaderboard. Some pretty big numbers for the boys. We obviously led everybody in offensive numbers this year. Defensive numbers, we led everybody because we're such a good team. We're such a good team, especially in conversions, just absolutely beastly. Red zone efficiency, we were good. Penalties, we were good. We didn't get that many turnovers, but we did have a few. Just absolutely insane numbers. Let's take a look at NFL records now. So in the careers, Trey Lance is going to have to play a lot more to get up here in the thing. But career, do we have anybody that breaks the list? Career passing touchdowns. It doesn't look like anybody different on this list. Rushing yards. It doesn't look... Oh, Zeke's up here. Zeke is up here. Derrick Henry's at the top. Not at the top, but he's on the list. So Zeke's kind of the new one up there. Then you got rushing touchdowns. Zeke has a chance to pass Emmitt Smith if he keeps playing. There's Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey. Receiving yards, Jerry Rice is on this list, obviously, is the #1 player. There's DeAndre Hopkins. Nobody new, I don't think, except for DeAndre Hopkins up there. If Terry McLaurin keeps playing, he could be up here. Receiving touchdowns, we've got Jerry Rice. Obviously, that's going to be a hard number to beat. We got anybody new? DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins having a great career, it seems like. Catches, I mean, just the numbers Jerry Rice was putting up is just unbelievable. It doesn't look like there's anybody new besides DeAndre Hopkins in this list. Defensive sacks in a career, 200 for Bruce Smith is just absolutely insane. There's Von Miller. You got Aaron Donald. Khalil Mack is on this list as well. Some really good names in there. Defensive interceptions, 81 career defensive interceptions for Paul Krause. I think it's Paul Krause. Nobody new on this list, but remember, we're probably going to be seeing Patrick Surtain on this list. We're probably going to be seeing him on this list pretty soon. And then we go to season, and this is where we're going to see some Cougar players. Trey Lance broke the record. We know that. He is the all-time leader in passing yards in the season. Drew Brees did it a lot. Anybody else on this list? Patrick Mahomes? No, it doesn't look like anybody else besides Trey Lance in the terms of the save. He also broke the record this season for touchdowns. Trey Lance did it last year as well with 52, got really close. And then we've got Davis Mills, who had 50 in year #1, and that's about it for everybody. Rushing yards, Zeke this season has 2,500 rushing yards. That is just a insane number. I can't even comprehend that number. Nick Chubb in 2024 got 2,096, so good for him. And then in Saquon this season got 2,004, so that's pretty cool. It's cool to see the guys that are doing these numbers during the save, like year after year. That's pretty cool. And Zeke has had a phenomenal season. I would have gave him the MVP other than Trey Lance. He's had a phenomenal season. 33 rushing touchdowns in a season is crazy. Who else is on this list? Zeke in 2022, Kamara in 2022, Barkley this season, Zeke last year. It seems like Zeke's had an amazing career. Receiving yards, there's Terry McLaurin. He got so close this season, so close to passing Calvin Johnson. But Calvin Johnson's numbers are just insane. And then do we have anybody else? No, nobody else on the list in terms of the save. Receiving touchdowns, we did break that one with Terry McLaurin. We have nobody else on the list there. And then catches, never going to break this one. This one's too hard to break. But DeAndre Hopkins in 2022 got 124, so that's good. And then this is the record I keep alluding to. TJ Watt, 2024, last season, 29 sacks. We were never going to break that record. But we did break the real record, which is Strahan and Gastineau and Jared Allen, I guess, and a lot of guys. But we did break the official real-life record, just didn't break the Madden record. And then we've got, it looks like Khalil Mack got 22 last year as well, and then Khalil Mack this year had 21. So, I mean, Khalil Mack's having a great career and a great season. Couple seasons. And then here it is. Last season, he broke the record, Patrick Surtain, and then this year, he tied the record. So he's got his name right there. I wish they would have put him above Night Train Lane so that it'd be Surtain and then Surtain. But nobody else is going to be on this list. It's too hard to do. Passing, then we're back to passing yards. And then do we have any game stats? We do. So this season, Trey Lance threw for 661 yards in a game. Pretty crazy. And then passing touchdowns. We didn't have anybody do that. Oh, we did actually. We had 2 times Trey Lance threw 7 touchdowns. Probably one of those times was when he broke the passing yards record. Zeke ran for 312 yards in a game. Just crazy. And then Raheem Mostert ran for 260. I remember that game. He ran for 269 yards in that one. I do remember that game. That was crazy. That was the year we got on the back of Raheem Mostert and went to the Super Bowl. Rushing touchdowns, Kamara 6 in 2020. Here we go. Barkley in 2024, 5, and Zeke this year with 5 in a game. Receiving yards in a game. Terry got 294 this season, but nothing to break the record. And then in 2022, Terry got 6 touchdowns in a game. In 2025, he got 6 touchdowns in a game. So he has the top 2 right there. But doesn't look like anybody else did it. Catches. Nobody did it. That's too hard to do in simulation, is break a record with catches. Defensive sacks in a game. It doesn't look like anybody did it. Nope, nobody did it there. Defensive interceptions in a game. Nobody did it in this either. Some of those are just too hard to do. So that is taking a look back at all of the stats and stuff. taking a look back at all that, now it is time to take a look back at the roster. So we know what our roster looks like, but we can take a look back at some of the other players in the save and take a look back and reminisce about some things. So our final roster will look like this. Just a phenomenal roster. Just that's all you could say, really. It's just a great roster full of amazing, talented players. Trey Lance led the way, got up to a real 99, a true 99. Kyle Pitts is playing up to a 99. He's a 98. McLaurin is a true 99. Jonathan Taylor didn't get there yet, but he's gonna be. And then on the defensive side of things, just absolutely amazing. Trent Favors and Chase Young, both true 99s. Pat Surtain's a 97. Buda Baker's up there. Terrell's up there. Parsons is up there. I mean, just Romeo Goddard's playing up to a 99 with the morale boost. It's just, this team is just unbeaten. Like, this is the best team ever created. It's that simple. This is the best team ever created in Madden and in the history of the NFL. You can't beat it. You cannot beat this team. Let's take a look around the league, though. Let's take a look around the league and see what kind of things were happening. So, let's see quarterback-wise some of the things around the league. See any movement of big-name NFL quarterbacks. So, Justin Fields played his entire career in Chicago, and he got up to a 90 overall at 27 years old. Then we go to the Bengals, Joe Burrow. We know that Joe Burrow was still the quarterback because we played them in the divisional round this season. I think the divisional round. Or was it the AFC title game? I don't remember. We played him in the playoffs this year. He's a 94 overall. Josh Allen's a 95 at 30 years old. Charlie Callaway is the new quarterback for the Broncos. He's been here for 2 seasons, it looks like. He's a 77 overall, 25. He was a little bit of an older rookie, it seems. He did not develop in that great. Baker Mayfield's still the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. 31 years old, 90 overall. Not bad for Baker. He developed pretty well. Yikes. Tampa did not develop a quarterback after Tom Brady left. I do remember them having Derek Carr, though, but he's not doing well. He's regressing heavily. So is Gardner Minshew. Kyler Murray got up to... Oh, I forgot to change... You remember when we spun the wheel and we got the opposing quarterback has 99 everything and he has X Factor? Well, we got that for Kyler Murray one game, and it seems like I've forgotten to change that. So Kyler Murray has 99 everything for his for the final time. Whoops. Sorry about that. At least it didn't affect anything. Patrick Mahomes is a 99 overall at 30 years old, still on the Chiefs. Then you got Trevor Goodrich. We've played him. We know Trevor Goodrich. We played him twice a year, and he was not good. He was not good at all. Trey Lance, obviously, for the Cougars. Dak Prescott stays in Dallas. He's a 96 overall with the momentum, or the morale, and he's 33 years old now at this point. Justin Herbert for the relocated LA Chargers. They moved to Mexico City and became the Diablos. We actually played them once this season for the first time. We hadn't played them in the entire saves up until that point. And they have, Dwayne Haskins. Rest in peace, my man. Justin Herbert, 28 years old, 90 overall, but he's better than that because of the morale down, so he's a 91 officially. Tua, still the quarterback of the Dolphins, 28 years old, 85 overall with the morale. Jameis Winston's over in Philly now. I don't know how Philly fans feel about that. 32 years old, 77 overall. Keith Bolden is the quarterback of Atlanta, 25 years old, playing down to an 84. He seems to be a pretty good player. Deshaun Watson stayed in Washington the entire save. We traded him after the first simulation, and then we got Terry McLaurin, Chase Young in that first-round draft pick. So he's been here the entire year. We played him a few times, I think once or twice at least. We played the Commanders, and we played against Deshaun Watson. He's a 94 with the morale at 30 years old. Chad Whitaker, 27 years old, 72 overall in San Fran. Daniel Jones, still the quarterback of the Giants. Not a lot of quarterback movement in this 5-year simulation. 29 years old, 81 overall for Dan Jones. Trevor Lawrence, still the quarterback of the Jags. We know that he's a stud because we had to play him twice a year. Lamar Jackson, that was the wildest thing ever. Lamar Jackson in free agency. I forget if it was after the first season or after the second. I think it was after the second season. We tried to sign Lamar Jackson in free agency, but he declined and went to New York. So instead of Trey Lance, we could have had Lamar Jackson, but unfortunately he signed with the Jets, and he's been here ever since, 99 overall. Wesley Sampson, 25-year-old, 80 overall quarterback for the Lions. We've got Jordan Love, who held on to the job after Aaron Rodgers retired, 83 overall. Sammy Darnold, 29 years old, 84 overall with the momentum. He is bad, but he is the quarterback of the Panthers. And Mac Attack, Big Mac Jones, 27 years old, 79 overall, still the quarterback of the Patriots. You love to see it. Love to see it. Gil Winter, what a name. The Raiders quarterbacks, 25-year-old, 78 overall. You go to Davis Mills, found his way to the Rams. Did he play on anywhere else, or did he just go straight to the Rams after playing for us? He played for us for 2 seasons or 3 seasons, and then he went to the Rams, or he didn't get a job in 2024. I just noticed that. He didn't have a job in 2024, and then got picked up by the Rams this season and played for them. So good for Davis Mills. We got a soft spot for Davis Mills. 27 years old for Kellen Mond, 74 overall, playing for the Ravens as their starting quarterback. Sammy Patterson is a stud, 25 years old, up to a 95 X-Factor quarterback. He was in the first draft class, it looks like, and he is an absolute beast. Russell Wilson, still the quarterback of the Seahawks, 37 years old, 88 overall. Chris James, quarterback of the Steelers out of Ohio State. I remember this guy. I thought about drafting him. I do remember this dude. 27 years old, 86 overall for the Steelers. Kyle Trask is the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, 28 years old, 71 overall, but they don't really have any other options. Then Zach Wilson, the Cougar himself, 27 years old, the Cougar Hunter, the MILF Hunter. 27 years old, 84 overall. Also has Jalen Hurts as his backup. What a quarterback room that is. All right, so Trey Lance is the joint best quarterback in the league. Running backs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, Saquon, McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. Jonathan Taylor will get up there at some point. Not a lot of movement around the league. Not a lot of movement. Surprising. You go to wide receivers. Terry McLaurin's the best wide receiver in the league. Tyreek Hill still on the Chiefs. Devontae Adams on the Seahawks. But everybody's staying around the same. There's Jerry Jeudy. We traded him to the 49ers. But a lot of people just staying around their same teams they've been on. Kyle Pitts is the best tight end in the league by a lot, actually. George Kittle, Noah Fant, Mark Andrews. Travis Kelce would be up here, but I think he retired. I'm pretty sure he retired, or he just regressed really heavily. Then we got Jedrick Willis, best left tackle, Mekhi Becton, Ronnie Stanley. Like I'm saying, just not a lot of movement around the league, which is weird. Usually Madden players like to move around a lot, and they do in Madden 23, that is for sure. Eric McCoy, the best center in the league, but James Henley's right there. James Henley was a really good draft pick for us, that is for sure. You got right guards, Wyatt Teller and John Hackett with Cesar Ruiz right there. So, I mean, we got some good offensive line. We had a really good offensive line this entire save. There's Penei Sewell, Laramie Tunsil. Oh, no, it wasn't Penei Sewell. It was Laramie Tunsil that was our starting right tackle for a while. I can't believe I forgot that. Laramie Tunsil was our starting right tackle for a while, and then we got Penei Sewell, but then I had to trade him for Trent Brown. That's what it was. I remember now. Galaxy brain. I remember these things. That's how it went down. Trent Favors, best left end with Brian Burns. There's Montez Sweat. He's on Tampa Bay. Then you go to Chase Young, best right end, and then Nick Bosa. So 2 Ohio State players right there, which is awesome to see. Matthew Studebaker is somebody that I really, really wanted, but we chose Trent Favors over him. We chose Trent Favors over him. It was a good choice, but Matthew Studebaker is an absolute animal. I will say that much. He is an absolute animal. Romeo Goddard, best D tackle in the league. Best outside linebacker is obviously TJ Watt. No surprises there, but Kalen Cousins is right up there. Middle linebackers, we didn't really have a great middle linebacker like I was talking about in the stats. Then you go to the right outside linebackers. There's Micah Parsons. Jeremiah Usu-Koramoah really developed. He really did. That's crazy to see. Patrick Surtain, 98 overall, best corner in the league, without a doubt. Then you got free safeties. There is Justin Reed, who we had. Strong safeties. Jamal Adams is a beast. Buda Baker's a beast. Rodrigo Blankenship. Absolute animal. Kaimi Fairbairn's not up here, that's for sure. And then punters, I would assume that he's not up here. Yeah, he's all the way down here probably. He's not a great punter, but we didn't need to punt, so why do we have to have a good punter? All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. We've kind of reminisced. I've talked about players. We've gone over stats. We've gone over season recap. We've done everything like that. We've done all the stats. We've done all the legacy leaderboard, all the career stuff, the record books. We've taken a look around the league. I mean, I don't know what else there is to kind of recap, I guess. We've kind of done everything. So I think the last thing I want to say is, I'm going to put the controller down. The last thing that I want to say is that this series has been such a game changer, such a life changer. It's been the greatest thing that's happened to this series in this channel's history. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching this series, even if you watched one episode or if you watched all 85 up until this point. So just absolutely, I'm grateful that you guys watched this series, that you blew up that first initial video, episode 1, to the level that you did. It has over 11,000 views at this point, which is just unbelievable to me. I can't believe that it's gotten that many, but it does. So the fact that it has that many numbers, and then subsequently the next few episodes have over 1,000 views as well. So I mean, just like, this series was consistently getting great views and great numbers, and it was because you guys were enjoying it, and I was enjoying making it. It's a great series. It's my favorite series of all time. I really enjoyed doing it. I'm sad that it's over, but we've got to look forward. We got the Barons that are steamrolling right now. They're doing that series is doing amazing. We've got a lot of other good content. I've got other channels in the works. The World of Juice Hoops channel, which is all about NBA 2K. You can go subscribe to that. I've got the Juice Baseball channel, which is all about MLB The Show content. So if you're a baseball guy, you can go subscribe to that one. I've got 2 other channels. I've got the World of Juice Discord link, which is always in the description down below if you want to go join the Discord, hang out with the boys. So I've got a lot of stuff going, man. It's only up from here. Like, it's just, it's the best. I'm so grateful, so happy with where this channel is at right now and where the community is at. That's the real joy, is where this community is at. We're all friends. We all enjoy each other's company. We all have a great time in the Discord talking to each other, and when I go live, we have a good time interacting with you guys. It's just a great experience. It's a great time. It's a great community that I've built here, and I'm so happy that each and every one of you has chosen to watch a video. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, truly, honestly, for not only watching this series, but watching any video that I put out on any of my channels. So thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to the future of the channel. I'm looking forward to continuing the Brooklyn Barons, because we're getting close to the off season, and that's going to be a big episode. So truly, I am grateful, and I can never repay all of you. That's for sure. I can never repay all of you, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sticking around on the channel and being a part of the Juice Club and being a part of what we've built here. Watching this series develop into what it was. When this series started, it was only going to be a filler series until the scouting update came out for Madden 22 in, I think it was October or something, when it actually dropped, because then I was going to start the Legends Fantasy Draft series, which was before this series. The Legends series was my main thing. That's what I was known for, because my Madden 20 Legends series blew up so crazy. So that's what I was known for. I was known for being a Legend Fantasy Draft guy. But this has completely changed it. Like, this has turned 180 what I am. And that's a relocation guy now. So absolutely amazing. But yeah, this was never supposed to be an impactful series, or a series that was going to catch on the way that it did. I never thought that this series was going to become what it blew up into, what it is now. So it's just amazing. And I just want to say thank you. So with all that being said, I think it's finally time to relive some of the greatest moments in Chicago Cougar football history with this little montage put together by me and by Megalodon. So thank you, Mega, for helping out. Big shout out to you. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. And thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and I will see you guys in the next one. enjoy the montage of your Chicago Cougars. On the eastern side is Chicago.
It's 1991. Birds
Plus, well, I mean Brooklyn, but we don't need another team in New York.
Until one day, a young man catches fire.
I like that. You know what? Let's go with Chicago. Let's move another team to Chicago. We have that built-in rivalry with the Bears. Then we're taking over. We'll be the best team in Chicago. Let's choose Chicago. The Cougars, though, that's kind of a fire logo. I wish it had more fan interest. Looks like we're being the Cougars. The fate has decided that we're gonna upset the fans. We already moved the team, so we are the Chicago Cougars now. Number one in true value. Let's go, baby. Number one in true value. I'll take that all day. Trent Favors, an 83 overall. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Opening day in the Cougars Stadium, and it's underway. And I kind of want to lob this up to Kelvin Benjamin. This is all you, buddy. Kelvin Benjamin for a touchdown. He went up and snagged it. The Chicago Cougars are going to win their first game in franchise history. The Cowboys have been playing. And Terry McLaurin one-on-one, I'm going to lob it up for him. It's got to be Terry. It's got to be Terry McLaurin, baby. Unbelievable. He throws it deep. It's not to the end zone. Knock it down. Who's got it? Who's got it? Incomplete. And the Chicago Cougars have won the Super Bowl in their first ever season. Oh, I can't believe it. It has not shown to me that they can't open a hole, and Raheem Mostert's got the acceleration. A third touchdown for the running back. Second down and 10 from around midfield. Knock that out. Pat Surtain interception. Big time play. That's why we have you as the number one. Matter. This is it. They have to score a touchdown on this play. Swat it down. Swat it down. The Chicago Cougars are champs again. Back to back. Back to back, baby. And I dropped the controller. I'm sorry. What a game. Trent Favors. This one's for you. Just like LeBron said, Cleveland, this is for you. Favors, this is for you. Let's go. What a game! I don't know if you guys can comprehend the amount of intensity happened. How did we get here? Trey Lance is a world champion. Oh, that's a big time throw. That's a big time catch. Matt Peterson taking it to the house. Is it his breakout game? Out the window when it comes to winning a game, or possibly winning a game. JJ, oh, pick that. Logan Wilson! Galaxy Brain, ladies and gentlemen, Galaxy Brain! As the Chicago Cougars are world champions for the third straight year. Let the celebration reign. For him. That's gonna be, yes! Pat Surtain has gotten the record. He is the sole possession holder, and it's a pick six. Oh my God, Jamar Chase. Nobody's around him, he stays in bounds. Jamar Chase. Boys, we're the champs. We're the champs. The most dominant team in NFL history. It has to be said. It has to be said. The most dominant team in NFL history.